To be honest, I don't know how to play spades. I don't know how to play spades.
Wait a minute.
I don't.
Timothy,
Yes.
I want to fight you.
I know you want to fight me. My bad. I'm sorry.
Cancel the show.
No, we are.
I can't believe this.
Yeah, I'm one of the very few black people who don't know how to play spades.
You do not come back to this place until you learn to play.
I will learn how to play spades this week.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I didn't even... Y'all, this is genuine shock. I didn't know he was going to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. All right.
Man,
I think we're good. Yep.
you good?
Yep. All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Say It Loud podcast. Say it loud.
I'm black and I'm proud.
All right. I'm your boy, CJ.
And I'm Tim.
And, you know, we just chilling. Right now, we are in the middle of the last week of Black History Month. Like, when this comes out, it'll be last week.
Yes, it is.
But, you know, we don't stop celebrating, you know, after February ends.
The Black History don't stop. Don't stop.
Not at all.
It keeps going.
Kind of like Diddy. Can't stop,
Won't stop. We are still black.
You know?
This skin don't come off, people.
Nah.
We wake up this.
I mean, unless you got Michael Jackson money.
Oh, see.
That's a whole different story.
That's just disrespectful.
And I was rocking Michael last week.
Yeah, last week. Now you're dissing, though. Make up your mind what you want to do.
I'm just saying, anybody can get this smoke, okay?
I'm not,
gonna be locked on anybody too hard.
Here you go.
So it being the last week of Black History Month, we're gonna talk about something that Tim actually wanted to talk about a while ago, but I've been busy.
So we the documentary on Netflix came out. It's called They Gotta Have Us. It's a really good documentary on black films and black filmmakers and black actors and their struggles coming up the ranks in Hollywood. And this whole documentary set a chord with me because I'm a huge movie buff. Mm-hmm. I love movies, and I also love black movies. But the thing that this documentary wanted to drive home is that
I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. You're gonna hear something, and I've got to mess with this mic real quick.
No, what they were trying to say is that we don't just make black films. We make films, period.
Yeah.
We're great directors, period. We're great actors, period. Yeah. Actresses, period. And I believe this documentary is one of the best documentaries I've ever seen on black films that I've seen in a long time. Episode 1 was touching on our inception with actors and actresses like Diane Carroll, Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte, Dorothy Dandridge.
Telling you, man, they and the one thing and these are all classic actors and actresses. The one thing that really gets on my nerves when I hear actors now talking about what they wouldn't do. If they was back in the day, like, oh, I wouldn't do that, and really taking it before Sidney Poitier. I'm talking, step and fetch it, right. Type of things. Like, right. I wouldn't do that. Like, first of all, the time that you're in is the time that you're in.
Right.
The doors that you have open now did not exist.
Right.
Because they were busy building them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that level of not paying homage and almost looking down upon previous actors and actresses because of what they've done, you know, with their career, and you think, oh, I would never do that. And you're trash,
Right. Well, and that is a credit to black people as a whole when it comes to our character. We are the kings and queens of making do with what we have.
I'm telling you.
They didn't want to do those roles back in the day, but that's what they were given, and they made the best of it.
Yeah.
Salute to those actors and actresses back that started this inception of black films being brought into Hollywood for their sacrifices and what they brought to the table and everything they gave up, everything they went through just so we could have the movies and the films that we have now.
Yeah. And I mean, they went through a lot,
right,
to get where they were. And we were talking about this earlier, that movie, The Butler.
Yeah.
with Forrest Whitaker. Well, the guy who played the son in that movie, they were sitting at the dinner table and the parents were like, "Oh, I love Sidney Poitier in The Heat of the Night," and he was like, "Man, Sidney Poitier is a portrayal of what white America wants black people to look like," and that really stuck out to me. It's like, first of all, as black people, we don't want that stereotype of or no, wait, let me back up. I'm sorry. When everything first started, the stereotype that was put on black folks was they're savages, they're beasts, they're all of these horrible, horrific things. And that's the stereotype that we had to deal with. And then when the acting started, it was all subservient things, all these things. Now Sidney Poitier comes out, different swag. He is not portrayed in a way where he's stupid or less than. And like I said, he was slapping white people, and this was old back in the day. But people saying, "Oh, well, he doesn't represent the black culture correctly," or things of that nature. And it's like, being black is not a monolith.
It's not.
There's so many different layers of what being black means. And I think when I would watch people say things, about Sidney Poitier and how he was this, that, and the other because of the way he carried himself, I'm like, bro, that's just another facet of what it is to be black.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
And then in that first episode, they was bringing up how Harry Belafonte and his struggle with having the first interracial relationship on screen, and there were actually rules, like laws in place that said you can't show an interracial relationship on screen. So for those that saw it and know what I'm talking about and but haven't saw it, this is kind of a spoiler alert, but go watch that documentary after you watch this. There was a scene where him and his love interest were at the beach and they couldn't kiss on screen, so she bit into a piece of fruit. It was a coconut.
Or no, he cut it a hole so she could drink the juice.
So he cut a hole in the coconut so she could drink it, and she gave it to him. So this is why he's a genius. He takes the coconut and turns it to the exact place where she drunk it and drunk it himself. Kind of like a slap in the face to those that put those laws in place to where this shows that we can't have an interracial relationship on screen. And I thought that was absolutely brilliant.
And here goes the thing about what I don't understand with that whole scenario as far as you can't have the love interest. I mean, I get their racism, whatever. But why even have... What was the thought process behind having a leading black man and a leading white woman in a romantic movie, but they can't be romantic?
I don't
mean, I don't understand what the end game. I didn't watch it, so they pulled it off, obviously. But if the movie is supposed to convince you that they're a romantic couple, but they're not allowed to kiss, I mean, that's not really a romantic movie.
I guess it was the sign of the times that they were
exactly.
In. They were okay with actors portraying love interests on screen, but they didn't want to show the actual making love aspects.
See, but now, I mean, you can turn on daytime TV and see dry humping. So
right.
It's crazy.
It's definitely crazy.
Yeah.
And then after showcasing the actors and actresses that came before, they went into, hands down, my favorite filmmaker, director, Robert Townsend, one of my favorite people of all time.
Yep.
This man is such a brilliant filmmaker, and I pray this gets to him so you can see the passion in my face.
Hope you're listening. Excuse me,
Robert
Mr. Townsend.
Mr. Townsend. If you're watching this right now, if God has blessed us with you watching this right now, I want you to hear every word I'm saying.
Listen. Okay. I'm standing here at a crossroads.
You're an idiot, bro. Look, Robert Townsend is an absolute genius and a savant at filmmaking.
Yes.
Hollywood Shuffle, which is arguably one of my favorite top 5 movies of all time. It's up there for me.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm not a top 5, but I'm with you.
Because for one, he funded the movie with his own credit cards. He said in the documentary, he said if I couldn't pay them, I could fill their gas tank.
Yeah, that was a boss move.
Bro.
Like, bro, we gonna make this work.
But here's the thing, though. The people he had behind him, the actors and the actresses in the movie, obviously believed in his vision enough to be like, you know what, put gas in my car. I'm still rocking with
And
you.
I'm telling you, and you know what? I mean, not only believing in the vision, but if you look at that script and you listen to his thought process behind why he did the whole thing, any actor in Hollywood trying to be in a movie would dive at that because, or excuse me, any starving actor, hustling actor would dive at that, one, because it's a job, but two, because that story is their story.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he attacked that brilliantly.
Yeah, and if for those who haven't seen Hollywood Shuffle, it basically is centered around a starving actor who's trying to make it in Hollywood, but he keeps getting thrown these degrading roles, like a role of a pimp or a drug dealer,
Which basketball player that
can't read. Like, but this was the environment of Hollywood for black people.
Yeah,
those are the only roles that they were getting, was street hustlers and pimps and drug dealers and illiterate people. Like, that was the only roles, and slaves.
Yeah,
that was a big one.
Now, do you think that those and I know we're going forward with Robert Townsend, so I want to jump back a little bit.
Right.
Do you think that the only reason Hollywood was offering those roles is because we had come out of the blaxploitation era, and that's kind of what being shown?
I think that was that was a way for them to pigeonhole us.
I don't know if we were coming out because Keenan Ivory Williams was coming up and he did some stuff.
No, they wanted to keep,
but the Shaft and you know, Superfly and stuff
right,
like that.
And I think it can go deeper than that. I think that white Hollywood saw our greatness, but wanted to diminish us from getting further than what we can, because why else, you know? If they wanted to pigeonhole,
I don't know if they. I mean, with the saying that they saw our greatness, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think they saw it. They would have, and when I say they, I'm talking on a grand scale. They, whoever they is, but obviously you have individuals in Hollywood that wanted to do certain things, that wanted to tell stories that the right way, but the mass majority of whoever was running things in Hollywood, I assume, had a pigeonhole on, and we don't really need all these blacks, okay? Which is why there wasn't that much. But I think, bringing to Robert Townsend, once we started doing it ourselves,
right,
and then it was like, oh, this works. Then they saw the potential. But prior to that,
right,
I think they knew we was funny.
Right.
They knew we could do certain things, but they don't see the potential to carry something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And also in the movie it was a whole scene where the character was acting in a slave movie, and in the scene itself they were acting, and then it cut, and then he started talking with a British accent.
Oh yeah.
You know, the black acting school scene.
Yeah, black acting school.
I thought that was brilliant because, for one, that's really how it was, and that's what Robert Townsend went through.
Yeah,
the whole with the white directors telling the black actors how to be black,
tell you how to walk, how you you're not doing it black enough. Like,
now, do you think that still goes on to this day?
Yeah, absolutely. In certain circles, because now today everybody can do a lot of stuff their own. So, are you talking about just in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Hollywood. I think it may not come out as overt. They may not say, "Hey, you're not." No, I think they'd say you need to be blacker. Mm-hmm. I think that's something that still happens. I don't know, but I would assume so. But that's just me, you know.
Overall, that movie is brilliant to me. I grew up on that movie. Mm-hmm. There were so many good scenes, and it's still relevant to this day. Man, but Robert Townsend he's such a brilliant mind. I mean, he created Hollywood Shuffle, and then later went on to do the 5 Heartbeats.
My favorite Robert Townsend movie.
He wrote for
Eddie Murphy.
For him and Keenan wrote for Eddie Murphy Raw.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm just like,
yeah. No,
man.
Okay, favorite, and then we're gonna go favorite Robert Townsend movie. Robert, we gonna our favorite
Hollywood
movies. Hope
Shuffle.
you listening.
Hollywood Shuffle is my favorite Robert Townsend movie of all time.
Of all
Of
time.
everything he's ever done, even better than Five Heartbeats, honestly.
Wow.
And Five Heartbeats is up there for me. Like that'd
Five
be my number
Heartbeat.
two.
Yeah, mine. Oh no, we're not doing two. It's just your top one.
Okay,
One Robert Townsend movie
That's
forever.
Hollywood Shuffle.
Okay.
Forever. That will forever be my favorite Robert Townsend movie.
Actually, I'll give you two.
Oh, give me
I'll
two?
give you two.
Okay, then I'll put Five Heartbeats up there because Five Heartbeats of like black films history is got. If there was a museum,
Hey man,
for black film history,
Five Heartbeats was a dope movie. That's my number
that
one.
deserves its own its own exhibit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the music in it was great. The story was great, and I loved watching him talk about because you know he does interviews and talks about it. And he said his favorite group growing up was the Temptations, and I think he said the Temptations. Anyway, they all broke up, and then years later, and he's like, "Well, why'd they break up? Like, what happened to everybody? Like, what? It was such a good group. Why did this happen?" Which fueled the story. Now, to make up the Five Heartbeats and give the backstories, which I thought was amazing.
Yep, I read saw an interview where he said that they went to an award show and had a section of the audience.
No, it was a funeral.
Yeah, and they had a section for all the Five Heartbeats.
Yep, it came in Robert and I think Leon.
Yeah,
came in and some people saw him was like, "Oh, Heartbeats, glad you guys made it. We have your seats up here." And they were like, "Dude, that's not real. This is just a movie." But they had 5 seats.
You want my spot, Flash?
For choir boy, dresser.
Hey, remember that scene though with Eddie Kane and Flash when
You
Flash
want my spot, Flash?
huh? You ain't gon' get it, 'cause you ain't got it.
Even trying to riff like me.
Eddie Kane Jr.
Eddie Kane had me cracking up when he was in when he left them hanging after the or he didn't come to the show.
Yeah.
So they went to the hotel.
Yeah.
He was like, "Eddie, get up." And he was like, "We talking about this drinking and drug stuff before. You said you was going to stop, so we leave you alone, thinking you going to calm down." His response was so funny to me. He said, "Oh, what, just because I have 2, maybe 3 drinks, what, I'm an alcoholic now?" And I always say, every time I see a crackhead or something with crazy hair, I say, "You got that Eddie Kane hair." Can't nobody sing like old Eddie Kane.
Ain't nobody saying like Eddie Kane.
Yeah.
That whole movie was great, bro.
Yeah, and
like, man,
my number 2 for Robert Townsend, though, is Meteor Man.
I knew you was going there.
Meteor
I
Man.
knew you was going there.
Baby Lords.
Oh my god, that movie is so underrated, bro. Like
saying.
I don't
There
care.
was so many stars,
Oh
so
my
many black
gosh.
stars. That was an all black cast except
He
for
had-
like the one white boss.
He had Luther Vandross. Didn't say not one line in the
I'm
movie.
saying he had the gun, and he didn't even look right. Luther Van, oh, he did. I'm talking like he watching. I'm sorry, but Luther held the gun and let the lady pass. Like, "I could shoot you, but I'm a nice girl. You don't look any kind of right holding no gun.
He don't look right
Come
at
on,
all.
bro." And it was skinny Luther.
It had a young Eddie Griffin. Like,
Yep.
Robert Townsend put so many people on, bro.
James Earl Jones with that trash wig.
Man.
Yeah, man. That's
I
Meteor
remember
Man.
when Black Panther came out and the whole talk was like black superheroes, and like people just forgot about Meteor Man. He was just
Meteor
like,
Man
"Wait,
and
what?"
Blade.
Yeah, Meteor Man
technically.
and Blade.
But culture, no, and I mean, I never. Obviously, that's my favorite second favorite Robert Townsend movie. But Black Panther had the prestige that
Yeah.
neither Blade or
Right.
Meteor Man could get. Okay, so speaking of movies, let's talk about our top 5 hood movies. Now, we're not talking about a joint top 5 because I don't agree with everything Tim says.
Right.
He says Purple Rain. We're not going back into that, so I just don't agree.
That's still the case.
So,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's still the
so
case.
we're gonna talk about our top 5 hood movies because we love the hood.
Yep.
And I just want to preface when we say hood movies, I think that people who I'm not even gonna generalize it like that. When we say hood movies, a hood can span across. It doesn't just mean the ghetto where people are getting shot.
Right.
Because as Ice Cube famously said after he did Boys in the Hood and then did Friday, and someone said, well, "Why would you do two so totally different movies?" He's like, "They're both about the hood. We have good days in the hood too."
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So the hood spreads across the different things. So we're not just talking about shoot 'em up gangster movies.
Right.
So let's start with we're gonna do a top five,
Top five.
five down to one.
All right. So at number 5, I put Do the Right Thing.
Okay, actually, I put Do the Right Thing for number 5 as well.
Yeah, I put Do the Right Thing at number 5.
And actually, that's one of the reasons I had to preface this, because Do the Right Thing, we had to talk and say, was that really a hood movie? And there is a trying to be socially responsible undertone.
Right.
And I can't even say undertone. It's very thick in there.
Right.
But if you break down Do the Right Thing, it's the same thing as Friday. Mm-hmm. It's a day in the hood and all the different things that are happening.
Right.
And it was just an amazing movie.
It was definitely an amazing movie.
That's one people should watch for Black History Month. Yeah. Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, if you don't watch any other movie of Black History Month, watch Do the Right Thing.
Yeah,
such an amazing movie. Shout out to Spike Lee for that as well.
Yeah.
Here I go. And that's your number 5, right?
That was my number 5 too. So here I'll go with number 4.
Okay.
Number 4 for me, New Jack City. New Jack City was a dope movie. I'm gonna tell you, Nino Brown.
That's too low. That's too low. That's too low. Go ahead.
Oh, whatever.
Go ahead.
But
Go ahead.
Nino Brown, Wesley Snipes, bro, he had me cracking up. First of all, when he told G Money to sit his $5 ass down before he make change, come on, man, that was a bar. And that was his brother, man. He had the knife on him, Josh. I would never shank you up or even play like that. Yeah. And when he stabbed the dude and it was like, I never liked you anyway, you pretty mother beep.
Yeah.
That was cold.
Yeah, Wesley's role in that movie was dope, but I'm just gonna act like you didn't put it at number 4 because
what's wrong with number 4?
That's just disrespectful.
Well, you think it should be higher on my list?
I think this is your list, so this is your list, so stand by your list.
I'm standing by my list. I know where I'll put it. All right, what you got at number 4?
At number 4, I got Juice at number 4. Juice at number 4.
Okay.
That Omar
Epps.
Omar Epps, yeah. No. Omar Epps and Tupac as Bishop, one of the most iconic villains in a drama, just absolutely killed the role. It's just an amazing plot, amazing story. Director was great. Queen Latifah had a cameo in it. Mm-hmm. It was hip hop laden. The soundtrack was fire.
I'm not even gonna act like I know the soundtrack. Okay,
well, few do though, which is disrespectful. But Juice is my number 4.
It probably shouldn't be at number 4. Juice is a great movie.
Yeah.
It's not on my top 5 at all.
Wow.
Okay, what you got at number 3?
Number 3, I got Menace to Society.
I have that at number 3 as well.
All right, at least we can agree on
number
something.
5 and number 3.
You know what messed me up about Menace to Society though, and I think this is like an all around consensus. Kane was just about to get his life together, and they killed him.
Well, that's how it goes.
And it was because of the fight he had with dude previously.
Yeah,
like talk about coming back to bite you.
Yeah, that's the real thing. That speaking of hood stuff, which is why I don't partake in ignorance personally, because a fight can never just be a fight.
Nope.
With niggas, okay, and I'm not talking about black folk. I'm talking about niggas.
Yeah.
Okay. A fight can never just be a fight. It always has to be escalated because somebody can't take the whooping. Right. And in that movie was a clear parallel. The dude ran up on Kane. I mean, it was all wrong. Right. Kane was a dog. I'm not going to stand behind him.
Yeah.
Although it is. No, he used a condom. It didn't work. Oh, well. Tough luck, brother. So his fault.
Right.
And he told the girl, ghosted the girl, and was like, hey, that ain't me. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's cold blooded.
So he was wrong for that.
He's wrong.
She go get her brother or cousin or whoever he was.
Right.
To go holler. I'm not saying she was wrong, but maybe she should have thought it through.
Right.
But I get how that's family, and I've been in that situation, so
Right.
I get that.
Right.
He came for the smoke. Unfortunately, he got it.
And got a healthy
You know.
inhale of all the smoke.
But see, now after all that's said and done, he ran up on him and he got beat up. His ego hurt and all of this stuff. Now somebody got to die.
Right.
And I'm just like, it ain't that serious.
Yeah. He didn't just kill Kane. He killed Sharif.
Yeah,
Who
Sharif got popped too.
he wasn't even like. He was the conscious brother.
I'm saying he was like, put this Public Enemy tape in. He was like, man, if you don't get out of my car with this.
Remember that scene at the beginning at the party scene when he was in the garage leaning on the cooler.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, "Why he leaning on the cooler?" He's like, "Keep y'all from drinking this poison."
He'd be like, why you wearing that hood like the Grim Reaper? Because it's cold, my brother.
Did you know?
This weather's for the Europeans.
Did you? And one of my favorite scenes in that movie too was that scene when Kane went to go visit Sharif and his father, and
Yeah.
played by Charles S. Dutton, who's
I only know him as Rock.
yeah, but he's a super slept on actor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like everything he's in, he absolutely murders. But in this scene, like he gave such a good monologue speech to Kane and Sharif about, get out of the hood, it's leave,
Yeah.
like, and I was just like, man, if anyone going through that same thing could just hear that, like that was an amazing scene to me. It was definitely goes straight to the heart of anyone going through
Yeah.
what Kane's going through in real life.
Okay, so that was number 3. Number 2. Number 2 for me, Friday. Friday Hood classic. And because I've grown up in some questionable neighborhoods. And if I can keep it, there was definitely, bad things that happened at times, but there was way more good days
Right.
than there was bad. And Friday really is reminiscent of that. The ice cream man, that whole thing. People just riding like a sun. And I think, as a kid, it wasn't, I don't know if it was summer for them, but, summertime, it just in the neighborhood. And all these different things going on. I loved it.
It
Chris
was one of the
Tucker.
most random set of events ever
But that's
in a
what
day.
be happening. That's what be happening, bro. You just be chilling, minding your business. All of a sudden, big worm pop up in an ice cream truck and rollers.
And let me say something about Friday.
You got midgets cheating on people. Oh wait, no, the wife was cheating. Old Bernie Mac.
Friday is without a shadow of a doubt one of the most quotable movies
Oh, absolutely.
ever. Like,
Absolutely.
You didn't go a day without hearing one quote from
And
that
you
movie.
know this,
And you know this, man.
When he say shut up, I'll be quiet. When he leave, I'll be
I'm
talking
again.
again. Like, and you got knocked the beep out. I mean, come
Chris
on.
Tucker. But that movie is brilliant
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, man. Debo. Yeah.
Debo.
All right. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
Boys in the Hood. Either they don't know, don't show, or care about what's going on in the hood.
Excuse me. Yeah, man. It's all of the above.
Man,
Yeah, that was a good, not good. That was a great movie.
John Singleton did his thing on that movie.
Yeah.
And why?
And that was his first movie too.
why, Ricky? Why you gonna run straight?
I never got. Here's the thing. He was in an alley. Okay. So I get that you can't really turn down, but if I remember correctly, there were walls because remember they was walking on the walls in the alleys. So I'm like, bruh, if you an all-star running back, obviously you should know you can't outrun a bullet, but use them calf muscles and hop up over that wall, some zig-zag, do something. But he got popped in that leg, and I'm gonna tell you what, it was something about when he got shot in the leg 1st. And when the blood came out, usually when I watch movies, the blood's really red and it's all this stuff. But it was so dark.
Yeah.
And the acting was and the scene was just so good that I literally felt sick. Like, why am I watching somebody get killed, even though it was a movie? But that's how real it was to me. And I was just like, Ricky.
That didn't even get me. It was when they brought him back to his mama's house and put him on the couch. Like they didn't know what else to do with him. They brought him back to his mama, and his baby mama saw it, and his baby saw him, and she started screaming, and his mama walked in, and she was like, Ricky.
And she was really
She
in
was
some
rubbing her chest and
disbelief type thing.
everything.
You
Like
saw how I
it's,
did. Yeah, she was
you can
like,
tell, like, man, like, and then they started crying, and she started blaming Doughboy.
which I used to really have a problem with that, but I didn't understand the context. As a kid, I didn't. I saw what was going on, but I didn't really understand the complexity of the relationship between
Right,
Doughboy, Ricky, and their mom.
right,
Because they had separate dads, and
right.
Doughboy's dad she obviously detested. And so she looked at him, and so she treated them different. So but realizing that as I got older, and then I watched that scene where, or actually before that, before he gets shot, when they fight in the yard,
Right.
and she comes to break it up, and she slaps Doughboy. That's actually one of the things I always laughed at too. When
She slapped him
she
first.
slapped him, and he says, "What you hit me for? What you hit me for? Why you hit me?" Then Chris comes up in a wheelchair. Yo, Doe, why she hit you? I cracked up.
Also, too, man, the relationship with Trey and his father too, like how it started with his mama bringing him to live with his dad, and then like he's still there, and then just you wanted him to be your dad, like seriously, like he would.
No, my dad was dope, but yeah, Furious Styles.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
growing up, I wanted Furious Styles to kind of be my dad, because he was like tentative to the Trey and leading them in like things of manhood, and he was so smart.
Yeah.
And like, remember the scene when he was talking to the neighborhood kids about the property
Oh,
value
when they went,
and gentrification
they
and
went
all
to
that.
they went to Compton.
Yeah.
And looked up, and yeah, and he started telling them about gentrification.
Man, like
That was and you know what? That was a nugget scene. I mean, if you break down Boys in the Hood,
Right.
there are a lot of nuggets in there, but that one in particular, y'all got to understand. They dropped some knowledge in
they
that
did.
scene.
Yes, they did.
All right, so bringing it to
All right, what's your number one?
number one.
What's your number one hood movie? I'm intrigued.
My number one hood movie. This is debatable, I'm sure, to everybody, but whatever. The Wood.
There we go.
Omar Epps, Tay Diggs. I don't know the other dude's name. He be in stuff. He was in What's Love Got to Do with It. He was Tina Turner's son, I think.
Yeah, he was, huh?
I know that's random because that movie was so long ago. But yeah, The Wood, man. I love that movie. It's a
Oh, Richard T. Jones.
Richard T. Jones. See, I'm more of a lighthearted person, which a lot of people don't believe, just because I be going hard on a lot of things.
Right.
But when it comes to movies, that movie is so lighthearted and funny in a black neighborhood way. And even that, they didn't show much of the black neighborhood. I guess maybe it was more the camaraderie between the three friends as they grow and they get into stuff. I got still, and favorite scenes to me be the most random scenes in the world that ain't got nothing to do with the plot of the movie. But my favorite scene in that movie is when they finally get Ro back to the wedding site, and he's outside, and the dad's got his head pressed up against the door because he tripping, and Mike and Slim are in talking to her, and they're talking, and Roland's outside. He's like, Lisa, baby, I love you. And Slim, they're trying to talk to her, and he's just yelling. And Slim says, "Look, girl, nigga, shut up." It was such a random moment, but that reminds me of me and my friends. Serious thing going on. Someone meaning well, but it's just annoying, and they finally was like, "Nigga, shut up." Dang. Yeah, I love the movie.
Oh man.
Again, I'm really I love friendship scenario type movies.
You know
where
what I
grow
really
together.
you know what I like about that movie though? I think that movie can relate to black and other cultures too.
I think so too.
Because that scene where they was at the dance, remember? And he was dancing with old girl. And yeah, he was like, "This is how we do in North Carolina." I'm like, I think everybody's gone through that.
and that may also be, and I'm not going to say may, that's probably a factor as well of why I like it, because it is so universal.
Right.
It's like was a black movie, but it was a universal story that anybody could get behind.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, a teenager, teens growing up, just trying to be friends and hang out. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. I love the movie.
Yeah.
So what's your number one?
My number one, it ain't no secret. New Jack City.
I agree.
Number one hood movie of all
Okay, I don't
time.
agree with number one.
All time. Wesley Snipes, Judd Nelson, Chris Rock, Ice-T,
Pookie hands.
Mario Van Peebles. You can't get no better than that for a hood movie.
The wood, but yeah,
No,
I mean,
you know what?
no, I'm with you though. New Jack City is an amazing movie. I love it.
And then like this Nino Brown, that movie did such a good job of making you hate Nino Brown. Mm-hmm. But then but he was your favorite character in the whole movie.
Oh, Nino.
Like it's like Killmonger in Black Panther. You know, he was the villain. You're supposed to hate the villain.
Yeah, but
Killmonger is your favorite character in that movie.
Yeah, but I can't compare it because Killmonger was one of my favorites in the movie because of where he stood. Now, what he did about his feelings, right, I didn't agree with, but his purpose, I completely was with. Now, Nino Brown, he has the tragic hood story of I didn't have this growing up, so I'm just trying to make a way. But there's a line between I'm hustling, right, and getting stuff done, and now, right, I'm just a bad guy.
Right.
So, yeah, whatever.
Man, and then the soundtrack was great too. You can tell I love movies with good soundtracks, mm-hmm, behind them.
I rarely listen to soundtracks.
Really?
I'm gonna be real with you. I mean, I don't listen to a lot of music anyway, which is weird because I'm a musician.
Right.
But I don't.
No, there's a big history of movies having real good like hip hop soundtracks. Just strictly talking about.
Not to say I haven't. Right. Let me clarify.
Right, but I mean, Wesley Snipes put on a great performance as Nino Brown, and definitely some iconic scenes in that movie. Mm-hmm. Like there'd be times where I could just like play that whole movie in my head. It's like I'm watching it.
Random Flavor Flav cameo.
Yeah.
Hey, Nino. All right. Well, that's good. Yeah. So those are our top 5 hood movies each.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at his list, so it's all right.
No, he can have his. That's fine.
We will be right back after this short message.
What's happening, good people? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Say It Loud podcast. I hope you're enjoying the show. But a quick question for you. Are you an avid reader? Do you enjoy reading? You do? Great. If you don't, that might be because you're not that good at it, but there's no judgment here. Okay, I get it. Matter of fact, I was so bad when I was little, my crush in the 2nd grade literally said in front of everybody, "Shut up," when it was my turn to read out loud. So whatever, but I hope somebody finds that heifer and lets her know that your boy wrote a book. Oh, I'm an author out here, okay? I got the words on lock now. And if you want to help Tim and I out with our Say It Loud podcast endeavors, because it ain't free, I ain't gonna hold you. Right now, we are using the book to fund this whole project. So if you want to help us, you can click the link down below in the description. All right, it's going to take you to kind of a sub page of my website, cjdudley.com. And when you get there, put in the promo code Say It Loud. That's SAY. I almost spelled it wrong. SAYITLOUD. Say It Loud, and you will get 50% off of my book. All proceeds will go to funding the things that we're doing. We're trying to get new mics, some light things, a couple different things that we're trying to do. So if you guys want to help us out with that, please do. All right. It's a book of poetry. I talk a little slick. I talk some real stuff. I say things like, blind people are concerned about the art of the deal. Democrat or Republican. Now that's the blue or the red pill. Body gone comatose, you plugged into the system. They download your information and you carry out the mission. Now it's an alternate universe, so choose your reality. Protect the 1% or preserve your morality. Bullets are flying slow motion. We need to shoot back to the basics. Now a neo-Nazi is our chosen one. We officially in the Matrix. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Go ahead and get my book, Letters to a Blind Man. Click the link down below. Promo code Say It Loud. Now back to the show.
All right. So you had sent something to me couple days ago that I thought was a fantastic question.
Right.
And it was about black obligation.
Okay.
I thought that was a great question. Now our first one, what Barack Obama? What was the? You was like,
So I brought this to you because I am a huge fan of Barack Obama. I'm a huge supporter of Barack Obama. So don't get it twisted. He's still my president. But the thing is, do black people feel like they had? And I'm talking right now. I'm talking about when he was running originally.
okay,
Did black people have a sense of I have to vote for him because he's black? And this is before looking at his stance on certain issues, on this, that, and the third. You saw a black man running for president, and did that trigger your black radar? Like, oh, black man running for president, gotta vote for him. Like, do you? And then there were people that was like, oh, okay, well, my mama was mad at me because I didn't want to vote for Barack Obama, and I'm just like, okay, so do we feel like because we're black, we feel like we have an obligation to think a certain way, like certain things, or in this case, vote and support Barack Obama?
Okay. And my response was initially, I was like about the Barack Obama one and the obligation to like him because I'm black. I felt like it was a loaded question, but I only think it's a loaded question because the answer is so heavy. People have been able to, okay, let's talk about black people.
Okay.
Never had a black president. Black guy comes up and the actual candidate.
Right.
You definitely have the ones. I'm voting for the black guy because I'm black, he black, we black, and we finna be black as a country.
Right.
And I'm not going to hold you. I completely understand that sentiment. I completely do. We've never had it. And if this is our time, hey, let's get together. So I say all that to say, there's a wide variety of why people voted for Obama. But when you come to the obligation of, well, did I vote for him because I'm black, he's black? I think that's a factor for a lot of people, but I don't know if it's the main thing.
Right.
Now, for me, if I can keep it 100, I mean, I voted for Obama twice.
Right.
The first, well, both he's black, so I did it. now to my defense, the first term, I was paying attention, but I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't as into politics as I became later in my life.
Right.
First time I remember, my family, we had a party at my aunt's house that night, and was elected, and it was celebrations. We had the VV, we had champagne, all kind of things, and it was a big deal because we black, he black, we here. Now the second time, I was more into politics. I'm not gonna say I agreed with everything. I'm not going to get into the politicalness of it. Maybe I'll do a different thing on political views, or you can just buy my book. But I voted for him again because I was like, as a culture, black folks, we need the children to be able to say, I've seen this happen before, so I can do it.
Right.
Whether, and this is where my mom was, whether you agree with the policy or not, if you're a black person, at least that first term, I feel like on culture code alone, I'm like, bruh, this has never been a thing.
Right.
You can be a part, like, we black.
Right.
Obviously, I can't even articulate that feeling of, we are about to have a black president. What black person wouldn't want this? So that feeling of, I'm black, he's black, I like him, was a definite real thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think black obligation is real in that sense.
And I completely agree. And I feel like at that time it was definitely something that we needed to show our kids that, hey, we were alive when this happened. And it was equally important to show unity amongst black people in a world where we were so separated and being like not unified at all. We were so separated. We needed something to unify us as people so that we could, do better.
Yeah.
And but at the caveat to that is there's the argument that what did Barack Obama really do for black people while he was in office.
Okay, so here is my thing, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know everything he did in office. I
Right.
don't.
Right.
But here's what I will say. I know that black people he didn't do nothing for our communities. Let me tell you something. Barack Obama did something amazing for black people.
You did.
His presence.
Right.
His presence created space where there was no space before.
Right.
So if my mans did nothing in office, guess what? He was the first black person to be there, which means that door is now at least cracked
Right.
for other people of color,
Right.
not just black folks, to get in there. Because remember, every single president, well, except for technically the first one, and we're not talking about George Washington, but George Washington on, they have all been white men.
Right.
It has not strayed from that, not even a little bit.
No.
So the fact that this man is the one that broke that, and he's in there, he's like, oh, but he didn't do nothing for us. Him being there, or just like the movies, step and fetch it. Well, I don't agree with I would never do that. You don't understand. There was no space before them.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know where I was going with that.
No, I mean, no, I know, I see where you're going. And he has such an impact on us as a people and as a country. We still call him president.
Absolutely.
Still, like you can see Bill Clinton right now at Walmart. You'd be like, hey, it's Bill Clinton.
I met Bill Clinton. What did I say when I shook his hand? I called him president because it was a formal event, so I didn't see him at Walmart.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, Barack has that presence with him. Like, he carries himself very well.
Absolutely.
And I've never seen a president who meshed with the people so well. And it's not even black people. He meshed with white people too.
He's the one you want to come to game night. He just be kicking it.
Right.
You know, he just seems chill.
Right. He just. If I'm stuttering, it's because
I was about to say
it's frustration. It's a little bit of frustration because who we got in there now is not presidential at all. And I think, and I'm keeping it way 100. I way be off kilter. We can get back to the original point,
Okay.
but I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
We as a country should be ashamed for letting
Absolutely.
this happen, for letting him be in office.
Absolutely. I think. Well, is there orange obligation? Like, who is required to like that nigga? Excuse me. But who is required? Like, why is he a thing? You know.
I just
And again, going from Barack Obama to him really makes you have to look at the country as a whole, as far as voters are concerned,
right.
and say, y'all really hate black people that much? Is that what a black person made you feel? Like you had to go do that?
Man.
And I know that's overly generalizing it, but that's just how I feel. I'm like, y'all, people was big mad apparently because this dude is whack.
I mean, okay. Now, there's certain things about Trump, and his views, because I'm a Christian and he has Christian values. There's some that I could side with.
Christian values.
Okay, then and that's fair. And that's fair. At the same time, it's like you don't carry yourself as a president, and what you're doing, by the speech that you say, the things that you're trying to implement is doing nothing but causing division. Like the devil. Like the devil does nothing but cause division. And that's what Trump is doing. You're causing division amongst your own country. Nobody like you.
He don't care. See, that's the thing. He don't care. And when you have a genuine I don't care philosophy, none of this stuff matters to you.
Right.
I mean, obviously, he be getting irritated, impeachment, but he's going to go on doing his corrupt thing. And that's what's frustrating about caring about how things work out, because in order to care about, and this is just my opinion, I'm not putting this on anybody else, but in order to truly care about what's going on in the country, you have to know what's going on in the country. So I pay attention to a lot of the political things. Now, a lot of it is nonsense, but a lot of it is some crazy stuff that the general public don't know because nobody's paying attention.
Right.
And I hate all of it. Now, unfortunately, that is the checks and balances of the country I live in.
Right.
So it's very easy for people to just be like, I don't care, as long as I get my paycheck and nobody's harassing me. I don't care what's going on in the government. And I get that sentiment,
Right.
which is a way that people like Trump get elected, because folks stop caring.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the bigots are people who do care and are hearing what they like. Oh, they go vote. All that. Okay, let's get okay.
Back
Because
to
I got
the-
something else I almost said.
Back to the original point.
Black obligation.
Black
Let's get off of
obligation.
Barack Obama.
Off of Barack Obama.
Okay, here's one that came up. That actually comes up in my life quite a bit. Now I rocks with dominoes and spades. I ain't talking about pizza.
Right.
Okay, I be out here playing. You
Right.
play dominoes and spades?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay, so here's the thing. When we come across black folks who don't know how to play dominoes or spades, not people that are necessarily just not good, because there are a lot of trash people, but they know how to play.
Right.
I'm talking about black folks who don't know how to play spades or dominoes. Do we as black folks who do play the games, do we hold what do you call that? I don't know, over people expectation over other black people to know these games.
I think we
in
do.
Particular.
I think we do, because if you go to a party and everyone's like, "Oh, hey, let's play some spades," and then hey, sit down, and then they automatically assume that you know how to play spades, when in all actuality, you don't.
Well, first of all, yeah, if you sit down to play spades, I shouldn't have to question whether you know. If you sat down,
exactly. And with me is, to be honest, I don't know how to play spades. I don't know how to play spades.
Wait a minute.
I don't.
Timothy.
Yes.
I want to fight you.
I know you want to fight me. My bad. I'm sorry.
Cancel the show.
No, we are.
I can't believe this.
Yeah, I'm one of the very few black people who don't know how to play spades.
You do not come back to this place until you learn to play.
I will learn how to play spades this week.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I didn't even... Y'all, this is genuine shock. I didn't know he was going to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. So, but cultural obligation. So, okay, so you don't play spades.
No, I don't know. I never said I don't play spades. Like, I don't know how to play spades. If I knew how to play spades, I would play spades without a problem.
Okay.
I play the mess out some dominoes, though.
Okay. So, do you think like all black people should know how to play? Let's like with dominoes right now.
Okay.
You think all black people should know how to play dominoes?
I think it's a rite of passage.
Okay.
I think it's a rite of passage amongst the black community to, at one point or another, learn how to play dominoes.
Okay. Well, now at what age? By what age?
I was playing dominoes at 12.
Yeah, I was young too.
12, 11.
But see, I be running into grown folk.
Yeah.
Spades. I be running into grown folk who don't know.
You know what? See, it could have been so easy for me to just fake the funk.
You
could have,
but I'm glad you said it loud. But
no, I'm
now
gonna say it loud.
I am disappointed.
Well, that's fine.
And
I know
75% of you, because I know you're a quarter Puerto Rican.
You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna learn how to play spades this week.
You know what the stupid thing about people learning new games, especially when they're around me, is they learn the new game and then they beat me at it. That'd be the most frustrating thing, when you teach somebody a game and then they beat you. It's dumb.
I remember one time my dad and my mom both taught me how to play dominoes, and I kept getting beat every time I played them at dominoes, especially my dad. And my dad's the kind of person that he'll talk your ear off while playing.
Yeah.
If he's beating you, he'll talk big stuff.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until when I was 18 I finally beat him. He got so mad.
It's like beating him in basketball.
He
You don't
was
wanna give that
so
up.
upset. Like, he was genuinely like upset. Not in a Yoda taught Luke Skywalker the Force, and now he's
You disrespectful.
disrespectful. Like he went off on me like Denzel in Training Day. You disloyal. Like
Well,
what?
hey, man, it go like that sometimes. You know, that's again rite of passage. Nobody wants to give up that.
It's
And the
a rite
biggest
of
thing about
passage.
spades and dominoes is the trash talk. I'm telling you, when I'm sitting down with people that haven't played and I'm teaching them because I've taught people, and I tell them, I say, 60% of this game is getting into the other person's head because they may have
Right.
something, but if you can convince them that they don't, even if they do.
Right.
My cousin's a master at this, and one of my friends too, and so I've gotten good at it.
Right.
But that's why I love to play them things.
Right.
All right. Well, I think we good on this, but it being the last week of Black History Month, I want to leave y'all. We're just gonna leave y'all.
Good segue.
Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher.
Yeah, like,
iHeart.
subscribe, share this mug, bro.
Please, YouTube. We're trying to do better on YouTube.
Right.
So we need likes and views.
Right.
Preferably 20 million a month.
Yep.
That'd be dope.
Yep. That's what we need. Feel free to hit us up on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube as well.
Yep.
Just hit us up. We are open to ideas. We want to hear from y'all, what y'all want to hear. We about the people.
For real, yeah. Give us ideas of stuff to talk about.
Right.
Yeah. We try to generally talk about some black stuff, but that's not we black every day, so we can talk about whatever we want to. There's always going to be some black in it.
Right.
So give us ideas, stuff to talk about, y'all, and
man.
subscribe. All right. We'll check y'all next week. Holla.